Hey, Shalom Akim. This is Yahba Tazah. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahba Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakudash, Barakatam Akim. Alright, as always, we're coming out here to prophesy the downfall of America, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, the modern day Rome. Okay, the rebirth of the Roman Empire, the prophesy against this great kingdom. And to tell the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians that you're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. Okay, and telling you, or drawing out the elect. Because the elect is the most important people in the eyes of the Most High, the apple of the Most High's eye. Alright, that's who he's concerned with, the elect. So that's who we come out here for. And we come out here, as I said, against the 2/3 Negro Latinos and Native American Indians that are destined to fall on this side, that are opposition at opposition against the Most High, along with the heathens. Esau primarily being the head of the wicked. Okay, you will be destroyed on this side, and that's what I'm out here to do, to prophesy. But I want to jump on a topic that's going on with the brother. At the Elder Kazak put a live show out yesterday, speaking about fallouts, and I want to go into that topic. And the brother out there in South Carolina as well made a response video to that, and I actually tried making a video earlier this morning to as a response to that, but of course my phone is not capable, it's not allowing me to record videos. I'm having to do it numerous of times to get it, right. Basically, it's up to the phone if it wants to decide to record with audio. And the brother out in Dallas, Kabash, reminded me of downloading another screen recorder. I did that, and it's still doing the same thing. It's taking off the audio. I did almost an hour-long video earlier this morning regarding the topic that I want to jump onto. No audio. So it's, you brothers know, it's very frustrating, and Esau's technology ain't worth a damn, man. These phones, they're only built to last for a certain amount of time. It's temporary, which proves that the scriptures go into all that, being, this side is carnal, temporal, the joy of the hypocrite, but for the moment, the triumphing of the wicked is short. Their glory days are at an end. So we know, so there's no, this is the way it is. So I want to go into that topic, and I want to start off with two things, because us brothers, we bring out Ephesians 6 and 10 a lot, going into not wrestling against flesh and blood, but that's to the brothers. What we combat against, or it's something. There's something greater than these people out here. There's spiritual things that are going on, that are against us. They're trying to sway us, trying to take us away, but manifest themselves in the physical. But going to the fallouts, there's a war within themselves that's going on as well. Their flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, which is all spiritual too, because everything starts in the spirit. Okay, the enticement, the seduction, the seducing, the bewitching of naughtiness, that draws one to these things, ultimately gets them to fall out. Okay, so I want to bring that out. Lord willing, the Spirit will reveal to me other scriptures that more or less give the hearer, the listener, a more broad understanding of where I'm coming from. This is Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Right? So we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We're not out here fighting. That's not the problem. Okay? Because we have an understanding that everything begins in the spirit realm. And then it manifests itself through the flesh. And that's how we see certain people behave themselves a certain way. Speaking about prior brothers that were once in the fold that now are falling out, separating themselves or got suspended, they become offended little by little, and ultimately led them to fall out. Okay, which that's where it becomes a wrestling. It becomes something that we eventually we wrestle against. They wrestle against. There's a balance to it all. Okay, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." You see, so everything starts in the spirit realm. That's why Yahushua told here in Matthew chapter 26 and 41, the apostles, when he was in Gethsemane, right before he was going to be betrayed by way of Judas Iscariot and delivered into the hands of the wicked Pharisees and the scribes, and to the hands of the Romans to be crucified. This is what he said, Matthew 26 and 41. "Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." And we've been on. That's one of the milk scriptures that we know of when we first come in. You have to understand how weak the flesh is. But when the Lord is saying the weakest flesh, saying that the flesh is weak, on that same token, it's strong because it's contrary to the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, meaning that it's going to want to do what it wants to do, which in turn it is weak. Okay, because your spirit, your mind wants to do what the Lord says. That's why it's a constant battle. It's a constant war between serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and serving the flesh. Okay, this is in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 16. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." That's why it's so important to do as what Yahushua said, to follow instruction, whether it be by way of the scriptures or a brother giving you counsel by way of the scriptures, because of what the Spirit has revealed unto him, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that he's gained through his travel, the experience that he's gained. That's why it's so important for you younger brothers to take heed. Even brothers that have been in it 10 years, 30, 10, 20, 30 years. It don't matter. We're still susceptible to these things that are that the 2/3 of the world is engulfed in and entangled in. You understand? So I'm not out here to justify these fallouts. I'm just giving because I don't want the fallouts are gonna do what they do. They're gonna say what they say. They're gonna believe what they believe. They're gonna blame who they want to blame. But we're the defense of the gospel, and we defend the flock. I'm gonna defend my brother, right? The brother that's doing the work. So if Kazakh is attacked, or the brother out there in South Carolina is attacked because of what they're saying, I'm going to stick up for them brothers. Not because I'm being a respecter of person, but because they're coming out by way of the scriptures, and they're doing the work, and they're proving it. What they're saying is the truth. Okay? There's no excuse. The Lord never told you that you weren't going to have any troubles in the flesh. He never told you you were. You weren't. He told you were. But to what? To continue in the faith. Keep fighting. Don't give up. Once you put your plow down, once you put your sword back in the sheath, and you say that's it. You gave up. Open rebuke is better than secret love, man. Rebuke is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to get you in the right path. But it's crazy, because rebuke can run people away, or it can keep you there. That right there, rebuke is a form of a measuring stick, of a form of a truth serum, in a sense, to see where you really at. It can either draw out your true colors, or it can take away, purge away wickedness. It says, matter of fact, because Yahushua is building up a priesthood, right? And he says that you're going to be kings and priests. Well, there's a scripture that came to mind. Let's see if I can find it. Come on. This is Proverbs 20:8. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. And that's what we do. By way of the form of that authority, the rebuke. Okay? By using proper judgment, immediately nipping it in the butt and not sitting on it, attacking it or addressing it immediately. Okay? Like I said, rebuke can either keep you there or it can drive you away. One or the other. Alright? That's why Yahweh Shai said what he said. Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. Because a brother's not always going to be there telling you, hey, what you should and shouldn't be doing. You should already know what you should and shouldn't be doing. You say you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, so that Yahweh Shai gave us the comforter to instruct us in all ways, to be a guide unto us in the valley of dry bones, man. In the valley of the shadow of death, which is America, aka America, Babylon. Sodom, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Okay? There's no excuse. Going back over here to Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. You see, they're against each other, because the spirit wants to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the flesh wants to serve itself. The flesh wants to eat. The flesh wants to drink, or you may have a smoking problem, or you may have an alcoholic, consuming alcohol problem. Drug addiction. I ain't talking about brother. No brother should be having that kind of problem. I'm just saying in general, being in the flesh, what the flesh wants. Okay? Women, sex, many other things. Is being complete insatiable, which means unsatisfied. Okay? You're incapable of satisfying the flesh. You have to be dead to the flesh, and you have to feed the spirit. It says, the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. That's why you find these fallouts, because they can't do the things that they would. Because that's why Yahweh Shai said you can't serve the Most High and Mammon. You gotta choose one or the other. You either got to choose my ways, or you're going to choose the ways of the world. The ways of the world tells you, hey, feed your flesh. Obey your thirst. Do what thou willest. Aleister Crowley's spirit out here, full of witchcraft. That's what the world tells you. Yahweh Shai don't tell you that. He tells you to pray, to fast. There's no other answer to give you but to pray and fast. And to cast all whatever's on you, man. And rebuke yourself. What they call voluntary, voluntary chastisement. Or sacrifice. What's going on, man?
All right.
You know you're a Hebrew Israelite?
I know BC was all black people, and so which one am I? You
got right here, you got Judah, the so-called Negroes. Then you got Benjamin, the West Indians, which are Jamaicans. Then you got Levi, which are the Haitians. So this is the southern kingdom, and down all the way down, you got Dominicans, all the way down to so-called Mexicans, which are the
I'm from Judah?
Yeah. The so-called Negro is the Spanish word for black. You're not really black, you're brown.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you identify yourself to here, yes, you come from the tribe of Judah.
Oh, okay.
You know
okay, thank you, man.
You're the Hebrew Israelite, man.
Judah was a what?
Huh?
What was he?
Judah was, the word Jew comes from the word Judah. That's where our Lord Yahweh Shai, who the world called Jesus Christ, he comes from that same tribe, Judah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, man.
And his name's Yahweh Shai, man. Take it easy. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why they're incapable of doing the will of the Lord, because they're more concerned about the flesh, the world. You know, their worldly priorities. The Lord, we know, but us brothers know you gotta go to work. You gotta take care. If you have a wife, you gotta take care of that. You gotta take care of your kids. You gotta take care of bills. We know all that. But it's about balancing these things and fighting. Okay, who's gonna win and who's not gonna win? What do you have to sacrifice? You know what I'm saying? You have to do all these things. And if these things are hindering you, you should never sacrifice the truth. You should sacrifice those things, the worldly things. Because the Lord told us that we're going to receive double for that, man. We're going to be increased 100-fold. So like it, brother, give me 1 second. You know? So really, the guys that fall out is because they're stuck in between the two, and they're not able to make a decision on who they truly want to serve. All right, they're basically double-minded, unstable. All right, indecisive. That's a spirit of a woman. To be indecisive is a spirit of a woman incapable of making a decision and standing with that decision and saying, no, this is what it is. This is what I got to do. I've made an obligation. I made a vow. All right, I have vowed myself to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Not doing. It's like, you know. This is like the guys out here, you know what I'm saying? Out in the world, they get their t-shirts and they get them embroidered with blue and with the fringes. What is that? What does that mean? It don't mean nothing. And it's like you got certain guys that pierce their ears. That's a sign of them being a servant to Yahweh Shem. The Lord ain't looking for that bullshit. That shit's vanity. That's just an excuse for you to still be in the world, to have your ears pierced, to have, you know, to be seen of men, to have your t-shirts embroidered with blue with fringes. The Lord ain't looking at none of that, man. He's looking in the spirit, man. He don't give a shit about your ears being pierced. He don't give a shit about your t-shirt. He's wanting to see what's inside, man. How you are inside, man. Where you at inside? That's what he's looking at. You know, they have different priorities, man. And like I said, like the brothers always say, people come in for different things, different reasons. Not really counting the cost, not really weighing out the situation, or the not really weighing out what it costs to serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai and coming on this side. Because when you come into this thing, it's not just some physical thing. There's spiritual things that are happening. You know, you got like I read in Ephesians 6:12. But against principalities, powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You got powerful things going on when you get on this side. Powerful things that are against you. And then at that, you have Yahweh Shem Yahushai that controls all that and tells you if you depart from this, that you're gonna be left to your ruin. You know? And that's what a lot of these guys, they think that's what it is. And like I always tell people, when I'm preaching to them, and the Lord gives me the ability to do that, that the Most High can either make you, when you decide to fall out or whatever the case may be, He's either going to make you very arrogant and proud, or bring you, meaning real high and proud, or bring you low to where you're deprived of any kind of proper decision making. You're not sound. You're unstable. Worse than you were before. Both are in the worst cases, because we know the Most High hated a proud look. He hated the proud man. It's both hatred before men or God, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and men. I've seen both. I've seen both work, where one increases in pride, arrogant, and then one that to be brought low to an impoverished state, to where they're roaming the streets. For years roaming the streets, battling within themselves and blaming me. When I had nothing to do with it, all I did was relay the message. For years. You know? So it's not no light thing, man. So the Lord knows that we wrestle against the flesh, we wrestle with our flesh, and then we wrestle with whatever goes on in the spirit realm, man. That's where the real battle is in the spirit realm. That's why we have to protect ourselves by way of the spirit. That's why I said, put on the whole armor of the Most High. You know? This is Romans 8:1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahweh Mashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. You can't be walking after the flesh. You know? We know that when we come into the truth. We first learn a lot of that, man. That's basics. What consists of the flesh? Many things. It don't have to be just fucking having sex with different women or, you know, shit like that. It could be the lust of the flesh could be your family. You know, your flesh gets some form of gratification from seeing, you know, your family. A lot, you know. You have a deep love for being with your family, seeing your family happy and celebrating Christmas and Easter and all these stupid ass holidays, man. And then when it comes down to be like, hey, you can't be doing that shit. And then you're left at home with your family and your wife is telling you, hey, what we gonna do for Easter? And you're in your mind, you're conflicted. You don't know how to respond or what to say. You have to be a fucking man, man. You be a man with your own self. The Lord called you into this thing. He didn't call your wife, your kids, or your family. That's something you have to come to an understanding with. You know? You have to make a decision. You have to be like, no, we're not doing that. You know? Or we'll come to a point where like, you know what? If that's what you're gonna fucking do, you're not doing it here at this house. Get the fuck out. Get out of here. Because we can't force nobody to do anything. But you can't allow yourself to be put in that kind of situation. And there's many things why prior brothers used to, or prior brothers had their issues. There's many things. You know? But it all has to do with the flesh. They were wrestling with the flesh. But we know everything started in the spirit. A thought was put in them, you know. Could have been their woman, their kids, many things. We don't really know. We don't need to go into all that. The point is that the Lord gave us the basics to understand what we should avoid. Okay? To avoid punishment, to avoid being cast out. He gave us everything. Book of Proverbs, full of instructions. Every scripture here is a commandment, is a command. It says, Romans 8:2, for the law of the Spirit of life in Yahweh Mashiach had made me free from the law of sin and death. Right? How does it make us free? Because only Yahweh Shai is the one that can rid sins, rid one of sins, prior iniquities. Right? He's the only one that can do that, and he did that by way of dying on you know, for the elect, and giving us the comforter, giving us the instruction on what we should do to receive the remission of sins, to have the sins wiped away. He gave us those things, man. You know? It says, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Yahweh was sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. And he did that because he was a righteous man. And he was put to death for nothing. I mean, as far as like he wasn't worthy of any death. But because him putting the sins of Israel on him, he was that sacrificial lamb, man. Okay? And he conquered death. It says, the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. So how does the righteousness of the law be fulfilled in us? We have to meet. We know that works is not going to save us, right? But we still have to do works, because that's how we're our faith is made known and shown by us doing the work. And it's not about proving anything to nobody. It's about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and those that are the elect are going to see those works. They don't give a shit about these 2/3, none of that. They don't account our labors for anything anyways. It's about who the elect are looking for that. The elect are searching for that. Who are the ones that are, doing what the Lord said to do in the scriptures? That's why a lot of brothers come in, because we see that we see this work manifest. Else they would never come in. How shall they believe if a preacher was not sent? On whom shall they call if a preacher was not sent to preach unto them, man? No. It says Romans 8:4, for the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Right, those that walk in the flesh, they care about the things that are of the flesh. They care about this world, the carnality of the world. They don't care about the spiritual things. They eventually lose a track of that. They don't keep it. The instructions and the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding retained in their mind anymore. Why? Because they mind these things. They mind the world. They mind the earthly things. The flesh, their desires, their wants, their needs. And not being content, not being humble towards Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. It says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. That's right. Let's get this one real quick. And there's many things why, people fall out. It's not, I'm just speaking on, well, I'm about to pull it out. Let me pull it out. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7. 1 Corinthians 7:27. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. Right? Because we're men, right? So we want a woman. But a lot of brothers, we struggle with finding a woman or being with a woman. It's always a struggle in the flesh when it comes to that topic. Okay? So that's just another thing that can cause a brother to fall out amongst many things. Whether they have a problem with their head, they have a problem with authority, they have a problem with following instructions. Okay? They have a problem with the doctrine. They have a problem with getting the doctrine right. Okay? It says, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she had not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. See, but we spare you, we understand. Well, shit, we go through it. But don't fall away. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up. That should never be an option. But once you start letting these demons, your thoughts, that's what it is. It's demons inside your mind. The demons get in your mind and they start telling you stuff. It's your own voice. You hear your own voice speaking, but really it's those demons. I'm gonna leave these glasses off, man. They're the ones that are telling you these things. Oh, this brother's evil, or this brother is going off, or these brothers ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Then, boom, you find yourself fucked up. You find yourself in a fucked up situation, man, because of that. Always worrying about unnecessary bullshit. Or you may have a guy that's just too laid back. Like they don't really care. Like shit, I'm just going along with the flow, you know? Ain't putting in no work, ain't helping out the body, you know? Just there. Always the helper. You know, I'm not saying you can't have helpers. Scriptures talk about that. But I'm talking about you could tell you'll be able to see the demeanor, the attitude where somebody is just wanting to do the bare minimum. And we know that we're against that shit. The Lord is against that shit, doing the bare minimum. Scriptures talk about being on fire. That whether you be not why you gonna lukewarm, but I'd rather you be hot or cold. You know. See, these people are weird, man. They can conceive different doctrines just to justify themselves. That's all it is. They justify themselves, and then they try to live a life under the radar. But when they're addressed on it, and it finally is revealed, they start to buck up. You know, they were caught. It's like if you're caught, you have a shame on you. And then, you know, most of the time, like, people that have a shame on, they want to just go all out and say, fuck it. You already know, this is They can't hide it no more. You know? Because that's just who they really are. 1 Corinthians 7 and 28. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. The Lord told us what to do, man. But he said that if you live according to the flesh, your desires, your wants, you're gonna have trouble in the flesh. You know? If you can't humble yourself and bring yourself as one of these little children, you're none of his. You're not gonna see the kingdom of heaven, man. You know? It's just like that whole thing that went on about, you know, serving men. You had all these different camps talking down about GMS, the Brothers of Great Millstone, you know, showing this love towards one another, going into the word reverence, worship, you know, stuff like that. You know, even before all that even was going on, man, it's fucking common sense, man. You do that to your father, your mother. You'll do that to your grandmother. You do it to somebody out in the world, maybe a best friend that you have great love for. You know, I knew that, you know, before coming into the truth. I would shake my friend's hand and I would put my head down to them, not like bow down to them, but I would rest my head on their shoulder and show them that respect was there. That's reverence, man. That's respect. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people out here are proud, arrogant.